The grand spiral arena glowed with shifting colors, floating in space between three suns. Every 200 years it hosted the galaxy's oldest tradition, the showcase of species. Beings from many worlds came to show the best of what their civilizations could do. And this time, for the first time, Earth was invited. Fleet Commander Zaruk of the Talax Confederacy floated in front of the gathered species, his glowing tendrils shining as he spoke. Honored guests, we are here to celebrate the wonders of life, the beauty of nature, the strength of spirit, and the power of evolution. Let each species come forward and show us its greatest natural gift. On the human vassal Odyssey, docked just outside the arena, Captain Marla Carter paced nervously. "Where's Trevor? We're up next." "Bathroom," muttered Jack Peterson, the hot dog-eating champion of Earth, as he adjusted his sweatband. "Nerves." "Nerves? You eat 50 hot dogs in 60 seconds for a living," Marla shot back. "Yeah, but not usually in front of a trillion aliens." Behind him, Cassie Reed practiced head spins, her long braids whipping the air, while Malik Harper casually stretched his legs, checking his bungee harness for the zero-gravity stunt routine. Jack watched them with a mix of admiration and anxiety. Sure, Cassie and Malik had raw physical talent, but his was stomach-based. "Listen up," Marla clapped. "You all represent humanity's adaptability. They've got telepathy, telekinesis, shape-shifting, bioluminescence. We've got innovation, grit, and a deep-fried competitive spirit. We're showing them all of it." Jack nodded, though his stomach was already twisting, and not from hunger. Inside the arena, the showcases began. First came the Iliari, whose members fused into a single pulsating entity, their thoughts blending like a symphony of stars. The crowd vibrated in appreciation. Next, the Velran, crystalline beings from a planet of endless night, spread their wings, casting light across the vast chamber. Patterns rippled through their bodies, telling a story without words. Then came the Hekshar, master shapeshifters, flowing like mercury into forms that defied physics. The audience was entranced. Backstage, Jack was sweating. Maybe I should have stayed home. "Relax," Malik grinned. "They've never seen anything like you." "Don't let that reassure me." "Humanity, you're next," intoned Zarek. The humans marched out, and the arena grew oddly quiet. Billions of alien eyes, compound lenses, bioluminescent nodules, and unblinking crystal orbs turned toward them. Marla stepped forward. "We are humans. We may not glow or shift or hear thoughts, but what defines us is creativity." Cassie rolled onto the floor and erupted into a breakdance set, spinning, flipping, and freezing in impossible poses. Murmurs rippled through the audience, somewhere between confusion and astonishment. Malik clipped into his rig and shot skyward, flipping through the zero-gravity chamber with controlled precision. Gasps and chittering applause followed as he somersaulted back to the stage. And then Jack stepped forward. Zaruk tilted. "What is his function?" Jack raised his hand awkwardly. Yeah, so I'm Jack, and I can eat a lot of hot dogs. Really fast." A collective silence stretched so long that Cassie shuffled her feet. Marla coughed. "Ready, Jack." An assistant bot rolled up with a steaming tray of hot dogs. Jack closed his eyes, took a breath, and when the bell sounded, began. The arena went deathly still as Jack inhaled 1 hot dog, 2, 5, 10, the count on the holoscreen climbing at dizzying speed. Somewhere around 30, a Brolaxian delegate let out an alarmed squeal. At 40, an Endurian fainted into its neighbor's arms. At 50, Jack slammed down the last bun and staggered back, gasping, face red, sweat pouring down his neck. Malik caught him just as his knees buckled. 50! Marla shouted. The crowd erupted, not in applause, but in a wave of astonished muttering and alarm. Medical bots zipped forward unprompted. One large, soft-bodied Medivh sent tendrils to Jack's wrist. Vital signs abnormal. Are you in terminal distress? Jack, clutching his stomach, grimaced. Just need a nap. Marla waved the medics back. He's not dying. He's just American. Zarek floated forward, his tendrils rippling. Your species derives greatness from ingestive capacity? Cassie suppressed a laugh. Malik coughed into his sleeve. No, Marla said carefully. We derive greatness from pushing limits, creativity, endurance, defiance of the odds. This, she gestured to Jack, is just one flavor of it. The arena fell quiet. And then, astonishingly, the Matavi gently lifted Jack onto a hovering stretcher. This unit requires immediate gastrointestinal decompression. Marla paled. Wait, he just needs to sleep it off. But Jack groaned. No, they're right. I regret everything. By the time Jack was ferried backstage and stabilized, the alien delegations were already in a frenzy. Delegates clustered around Marla, demanding explanations. Is this safe? Asked a Brolaxian emissary, rippling with anxiety. Can he reproduce after this? Worried an Andurian scientist. Why would a species evolve this capacity without a protective exoskeleton? Puzzled a Velrin observer. Cassie leaned over to Malik. I think we just broke galactic biology. Malik grinned. Yeah, we might have also just won. An hour later, Jack lay on a med bed, sipping electrolyte fluid through a straw. How'd we do? Marlinin leaned over him. Well, you've traumatized half the galaxy and fascinated the other half. The judges are deliberating. Cool, Jack murmured, eyes fluttering shut. Wake me up if I win something. Marla squeezed his shoulder, careful not to jostle the IV. Rest. You earned it. Outside, on the grand stage, the judges prepared their verdict. 2 hours after Jack drifted into an electrolyte-fueled nap, the arena was still buzzing. Delegates clustered in language pods, translations flitting across the chamber in bursts of color and light. Some argued in heated tones, others gestured wildly with appendages or tendrils, but all of them circled the same question. How could a species with no obvious evolutionary marvels produce such reckless, baffling talent? Captain Marla Carter stood before the judging council, flanked by Cassie and Malik. Jack remained backstage, monitored by a concerned cluster of Medivh who had collectively decided that Earth's digestive biology required at least 4 independent research papers. We have reached a deliberation, Zarek announced, his tones rippling through the air. Humanity has demonstrated adaptability, creativity, and an astonishing disregard for anatomical limits. We have questions. Marla braced herself. The first judge, a bulbous antron named Vresh, pulsed with blue light. Do all your kind consume food competitively? No, Marla said carefully. Jack is special. The second judge, a pale-winged Shirix named Ellen, flicked iridescent wings. And the one who spins on the ground, is this a common ritual of your species? Cassie stepped forward with a grin. It's called breakdancing. It's art, rhythm, movement. Anyone can learn, but mastery takes years. Ellen tilted her head, chittering softly. Fascinating. The third judge, a granite-plated Lurok named Fen, rumbled, The one who flew through the chamber without wings. Did he enhance his body with technology? Malik patted his bungee harness. Just physics and some guts. No implants, no mods. A low wave of amazement rippled through the council. Behind them, Jack stirred, groaning softly. One of the Medivh, a jelly-like being named Sal, floated over. The champion awakens. Marla turned. Jack, you with us? He cracked one eye open. This is heaven. Why does my stomach still hurt? Cassie chuckled softly. We're still in the arena, champ. With a grimace, Jack sat up slowly. His face was pale, hands trembling slightly. The Medivh guided him carefully upright, monitoring vitals. Subject's cardiovascular system remains within acceptable fluctuation range. Mild dehydration persists. Jack waved weakly. I'm good. Just maybe no more hot dogs for, ever. Marla squeezed his shoulder. We're proud of you. As Jack slowly shuffled back toward the delegation, a sudden trumpet of sound filled the chamber. Zarak lifted his appendages high. Prepare for the exhibition of exchange. The humans looked at one another. Exchange? Malik murmured. Marla frowned. They didn't tell us about this part. Suddenly they were swarmed by alien delegates. An Iliari extended a shimmering pseudopod toward Cassie. Teach us the floor spin. A Volran floated near Malik. We wish to understand human flight. And to Jack's horror, a cluster of Angerian healers surrounded him with scanning beams. Please ingest additional food. We wish to observe. Jack blanched. Oh, no, I'm done. Out of hot dog mode. But the aliens were insistent, eager, fascinated. Over the next few hours, the humans found themselves drafted into the strangest workshops in the history of the galaxy. Cassie demonstrated her breakdance routine on a glassy platform while Iliari mimicked her with shimmering pseudopods, rippling in synchronized waves. Malik rigged makeshift harnesses to teach basic flips to the lighter species, watching in delight as gravity-bound beings laughed in exhilaration at the feeling of lift. Jack, surrounded by fascinated medics, reluctantly demonstrated a normal meal, nibbling cautiously on sandwiches from Earth's diplomatic stash. The Andorians hovered anxiously nearby, taking readings with every bite. By nightfall, the galactic version, as the suns dimmed in careful sequence, the humans staggered back to their ship, exhausted. Marla rubbed her temples. We might have just caused a diplomatic revolution. Jack groaned, hand on his stomach. Tell me we at least didn't finish last. Cassie flopped onto a bench. I think you're the most famous stomach in the galaxy. A chime sounded. Delegation of Earth, Zarak's voice intoned. The council has reached its final verdict. Please return to the arena. Inside, the chamber was filled with a shimmering hush. All delegations were present, eyes, or equivalents, fixed on the humans. Zaruk floated to the center. For extraordinary demonstration of adaptability, cultural resilience, and biological audacity, Earth is awarded the Novus Laureate. You have astonished us. A beam of light swept over the humans as a crystalline medallion materialized in the air, floating toward Marla's outstretched hands. The crowd erupted in a wave of sound. Musical vibrations, flashes of light, synchronized wing beats, rippling waves through liquid forms. It was applause, though not as Earth knew it. Jack sagged in relief. We didn't die, and we didn't embarrass the planet. Marla grinned. No, Jack, you made history. Cassie elbowed Malik gently. Who knew hot dogs would be our universal language? Malik laughed softly. Next century, maybe we bring a pizza-eating champion. Jack groaned again. Not it. As the humans turned to leave the stage, Zarak drifted alongside them. We eagerly await your return in 200 years. Jack paused, pale and sweaty but smiling. Next time, maybe I'll just coach. The Odyssey hummed quietly in orbit as Earth's delegation regrouped. Marla Carter stood in the observation bay, gazing out at the sparkling dance of ships departing the arena. Cassie Reed stretched on the floor, legs splayed, arms behind her head, watching Malik Harper and Jack Peterson play a game of cards at the table. Jack, still pale but recovering, grinned faintly. I can't believe I have fans now. Alien fans, who want to watch me eat more. Pretty sure the Andurians called you the gastronomic apex, Malik said, flipping over a card. Cassie laughed, rolling onto her stomach. You're interstellar now, Jack. Marla turned. Rest up, team. We have a formal reception tomorrow. Diplomatic meet and greet, cultural exchange, minimal hot dogs, I hope. Jack groaned into his hands. Thank every god in the sky. The next morning arrived in a soft violet glow as the arena's orbit carried it between twin stars. The humans, dressed in their formal suits, stepped into the reception hall, a sweeping chamber of translucent spires and shifting floor panels. Alien delegates clustered in circles, exchanging chemical perfumes, magnetic pulses, and light projections, ritual greetings as varied as their shapes. As the humans entered, all eyes, or their equivalents, turned. Zarek approached, his tendrils elegantly raised. Ambassadors of Earth, welcome. Your species has become quite the conversation. Marla offered a cautious smile. We're honored, Commander. Jack leaned toward Malik. Is it me, or is everyone still looking at my stomach? Malik smirked. You're a legend now. Over the next few hours, the team moved between groups, answering questions, demonstrating gestures, laughing at gentle misunderstandings. Cassie showed a Vulran diplomat how to execute a basic dance step, their crystalline feet clinking softly on the floor. Malik discussed physics with a Shyrix engineer, sketching loops and flips on a glowing tablet. Jack, surrounded by a curious Med-IV cluster, explained the concept of competitive eating without quite understanding how this had become his life. By midday, the humans needed a break. They retreated to a quiet alcove, sipping nutrient drinks provided by the Mediv. Jack cautiously tested his stomach with small sips. Recovery check, about 80%. No hot dogs, though, never again. Marla checked her datapad. We've been invited to a demonstration. The Velrin are doing a light show, the Hekshar are performing a shape-shifting opera, and the Andurians want to present a culinary tribute to Earth? Jack paled. Please tell me it's not 50 alien hot dogs. Marla grinned. Relax, it's fruit. Hours later, the humans sat cross-legged on glowing mats as the Andurians presented an elaborate platter of jewel-like fruits, each piece humming softly in their hands. Jack bit carefully into a translucent slice, eyes widening. It tastes like honey and mint? Malik leaned in. Careful, man. You're still on a fragile system. Cassie tapped a piece with her spoon. Best fruit salad of my life. While they ate, the arena pulsed with activity. Overhead, the Velrine danced through shimmering light, painting stories in the air. Across the chamber, the Hekshar shifted forms with haunting melodies. Even the stern Lurok rumbled their appreciation. By the end of the night, Earth's delegation had earned not only respect but something rarer, affection. Delegates approached for keepsakes, a braided thread from Cassie's wristband, a looped harness Malik offered as a symbol of shared motion, and, to Jack's resigned amusement, the autograph of a champion. As the crowd thinned, Zaruk approached once more. Ambassadors, there is one final request. Marla arched an eyebrow. Yes, Commander? Zaruk gestured to a shimmering ring at the center of the hall. Your species is unpredictable, adaptive. Would you permit one last demonstration? Not ingestion, perhaps, but something expressive. Marla turned to her team. Cassie smiled. Dance circle. Malik gave a lazy shrug. 0 G-flips. Jack raised his hands. I'm officially retired from stunts. Marla laughed softly. Go on, show them something beautiful. Under the violet lights, Cassie and Malik moved to the center, nodding to the music gently rising from unseen speakers. Cassie began slow, graceful spins, while Malik hovered above in a low flip, their movements weaving into one flowing rhythm. Aliens gathered in a vast circle, some mimicking the steps, others watching in rapt silence. Jack watched from the edge, sipping his drink, the tension easing from his shoulders for the first time in days. When the last notes faded, the applause came in waves, light, sound, scent, and vibration, more than the humans could have imagined. Back aboard the Odyssey that night, Marla joined Jack in the observation bay. He leaned on the railing, gazing out at the stars, arms crossed over his chest. Feeling better? She asked quietly. Yeah, Jack murmured. Still sore, but worth it. Marla smiled. You did more than win a medal, you know. Jack exhaled slowly. We showed them who we are. And they'll remember, Marla said softly. Jack chuckled. Next time maybe we bring a chess grandmaster. Marla nudged his arm. One miracle at a time. The ship hummed beneath their feet as they prepared to break orbit. Earth's first interstellar ambassadors headed home, not as conquerors, not as curiosities, but as something far stranger. Friends. The Odyssey coasted silently through space, its engines dimmed to a soft whisper as the Earth team packed up for departure. The final day had arrived, and though exhaustion weighed on every member, a quiet thrill filled the air. Cassie Reed crouched on the hangar floor, carefully coiling the last of her gear. Malik Harper methodically checked their supply crates, humming under his breath. Captain Marla Carter stood near the comm station, her fingers gliding over a report she'd send back to Earth. And Jack Peterson sat on a bench near the observation window, cradling a warm compress against his abdomen. Hey, stomach hero, Malik called with a grin, walking over. How's the recovery? Jack lifted his head, a faint smirk playing at the corners of his mouth. No more hot dogs in sight, so I'm holding together. Thanks to about 9 alien medics, 2 nutrient IVs, and what I think was a group meditation circle. Cassie dropped beside him with a light bounce. You're a legend, Jack. Seriously, you realize they named a dessert after you? He groaned into his hands. Please tell me it's not shaped like a hot dog. Marla walked over, datapad tucked under her arm. We're expected at the farewell assembly in 20 minutes. How's everyone holding up? Cassie and Malik exchanged grins. Jack gave a weary thumbs up. Good, Marla said with a rare smile. We're going to make this final appearance, keep it short, thank the council, and get home before Jack's stomach files for legal emancipation. Jack laughed quietly. Deal. The farewell assembly was held in the outermost chamber of the grand spiral arena, its crystalline dome framing the 3 suns now aligned on the horizon. The chamber shimmered, filled with the soft hum of departing ships, delegates preparing for the long journey back to their distant stars. As the Earth team entered, the room fell into a gentle hush. Zarek, floating at the center, extended his tendrils in welcome. Ambassadors of Earth, Zarek intoned, your presence has changed this gathering. Marla stepped forward. On behalf of Earth, thank you for welcoming us. We came with open hands, open minds, and maybe a slightly overambitious appetite. A ripple of amusement spread through the assembly. Zaruk's tendrils shimmered. You have shown us that greatness may reside not only in form or thought, but in will. Your adaptability, your inventiveness, and yes, even your eccentricity have enriched this showcase. From the crowd, the Velrone emissary lifted a glowing crystal, its facets pulsing in time with the chamber's lights. We will carry your dance in our memories. Beside them, the Iliari rippled with color. And your defiance of limits, the Medivh floated forward in unison. And your digestive resilience. Jack paled slightly. Please, never say that again, he murmured under his breath, drawing a chuckle from Malik. Zaruk gestured skyward, and a cascade of lights rippled across the dome. Images formed. Cassie mid-spin, Malik tumbling through zero gravity, Jack with his cheeks stuffed full, wide-eyed and determined. The images froze, then folded into a single glowing sigil, the symbol of Earth, added for the first time to the Hall of Laureates. Marla felt her throat tighten. Thank you, she said softly. Zaruk's final words echoed through the vast chamber. You have earned not only our respect, but our curiosity. Earth is now a part of this great tapestry. We look forward to the next 2 centuries. With a graceful motion, Zarek bowed, an act mirrored by every delegation. As the humans turned to leave, Kathy slipped her arm through Jack's. You realize they're going to expect you back in 200 years. Jack snorted. Better start training the next guy now. Back aboard the Odyssey, the crew strapped in. The ship's engines hummed to life, and Malik ran a last check on the thrusters. "Ready for jump," he announced. Cassie leaned back in her seat, eyes half-lidded. "We just made human history, no big deal." Jack gingerly adjusted his harness. "I made galactic history with indigestion, definitely no big deal." Marla smiled, shaking her head. "I'd call that a very big deal." As the countdown ticked down, the crew fell quiet, each lost in thought. For a moment, the ship floated in stillness. Earth, a distant blue dot on the nav screen. "Hey," Jack murmured, breaking the silence. "When we get home, pizza?" Cassie groaned with laughter. "You are unbelievable." Malik grinned over his shoulder. "Let the man dream." Marla's fingers danced over the console. "First, we debrief, then pizza." The final seconds ticked away, and with a soft pulse the Odyssey leapt into the star stream, leaving the shimmering arena behind. Hours later, as Earth's blue curve rose in the viewport, Jack sat quietly, watching. The others had drifted off, Cassie curled up in a blanket, Malik half dozing in his seat. Marla sat nearby, reviewing notes but glancing up now and then. Jack ran a hand through his hair. "You think we actually mattered to them?" Marla closed the datapad, resting her hands on her knees. "I think we reminded them that greatness comes in a lot of forms." Jack nodded slowly. "Good. Because I'm not sure the universe was ready for us." Marla's lips twitched into a smile. "Neither were we." As Earth grew larger in the window, the stars glinting beyond, the Odyssey slipped silently home, carrying 4 tired, proud humans and the memory of a galaxy they had astonished, bewildered, and, against all odds, charmed. The first ambassadors of Earth.